The Israel-Iran conflict is one of the most complex and volatile in the Middle East. It is a story of a friendship turned bitter rivalry. Before the 1979 Islamic Revolution, Israel and Iran were close allies. The revolution transformed Iran into a theocracy. It also turned Israel into a sworn enemy. Today, the two nations are locked in a shadow war. They engage in cyber attacks, proxy conflicts, and the ever-present threat of open warfare. The conflict has implications far beyond the Middle East, impacting global security and the delicate balance of power in the region. The roots of the conflict are deep and multifaceted. Understanding the current state of affairs requires delving into the historical backdrop. We must examine the key events that have shaped this enduring struggle. This includes the rise of Hezbollah, the Iranian nuclear program, and the impact of regional conflicts. This complex relationship has been punctuated by periods of both cooperation and intense hostility. The recent Abraham Accords, which saw Israel normalizing relations with several Arab states, have added another layer of complexity. These accords have been perceived by Iran as a direct threat to its regional influence. The Israel-Iran conflict is a stark reminder of the enduring power of ideological clashes. It also highlights the volatile nature of Middle Eastern politics. As both sides continue to flex their military muscles, the world watches with bated breath. The possibility of a wider conflict hangs heavy in the air. Before the 1979 Islamic Revolution, Iran, then ruled by the Shah, was a staunch ally of Israel. Both countries shared common interests, particularly in containing the influence of Pan-Arabism and Soviet expansion in the region. This partnership flourished under a shared secular outlook and a pragmatic approach to geopolitics. Israel even provided military and technological assistance to the Shah's regime. The Islamic Revolution in 1979 dramatically altered the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. Ayatollah Khomeini, the leader of the revolution, overthrew the Shah and established a theocratic republic. Khomeini's revolutionary zeal was coupled with a deep-seated ideological opposition to Israel's existence. He viewed Israel as an illegitimate entity and a symbol of Western imperialism in the Muslim world. Khomeini's anti-Israel rhetoric resonated with a large segment of the Iranian population and quickly became a cornerstone of the Islamic Republic's foreign policy. This marked a complete reversal of Iran's previous stance, transforming the country from a close ally to a sworn enemy of Israel. This shift had immediate and far-reaching consequences, laying the groundwork for decades of animosity and conflict. Adding fuel to the fire was the Iran-Iraq War, which erupted in 1980. This brutal conflict, lasting 8 long years, deepened the animosity between Iran and Israel. While not directly involved, Israel provided limited military support to Saddam Hussein's Iraq, further antagonizing the Iranian regime. The war also served as a training ground for Hezbollah, the Iranian-backed militia in Lebanon, which would later become a central player in the conflict. Central to the Israel-Iran conflict is the role of Hezbollah, a powerful Shia militant group based in Lebanon. Founded in 1982 with Iranian support, Hezbollah's initial objective was to drive Israeli forces out of Lebanon. Over the years, it has evolved into a formidable military and political force. Hezbollah possesses a vast arsenal of rockets and missiles, posing a significant threat to Israel's northern border. Beyond Hezbollah, Iran has consistently sought to expand its influence in the region. This has been achieved through supporting allied governments and militias in Syria, Iraq, and Yemen. These proxy forces, armed and funded by Iran, have enabled Tehran to project power beyond its borders. This has brought it into direct conflict with Israel's regional interests. Further escalating tensions is Iran's nuclear program. While Iran maintains that its nuclear ambitions are purely peaceful, Israel and much of the international community view it with deep suspicion. The specter of a nuclear-armed Iran, capable of threatening Israel's existence, has been a driving force behind Israeli policy for decades. This fear has led to covert operations, cyber attacks, and the ever-present threat of military action aimed at curtailing Iran's nuclear capabilities. The Iranian nuclear program has become a focal point of international diplomacy and a major obstacle in the path towards any potential resolution of the broader conflict. The Israel-Iran conflict has seen numerous flashpoints over the years, with the 2006 Lebanon War standing out as a prime example of the devastating consequences of this enduring rivalry. The war was sparked by a Hezbollah cross-border raid that captured 2 Israeli soldiers. Israel responded with a massive military campaign targeting Hezbollah positions in Lebanon. The 34-day conflict resulted in the deaths of over 1,000 Lebanese civilians and significant damage to Lebanon's infrastructure. Hezbollah also inflicted casualties on Israel, demonstrating its ability to strike deep within Israeli territory. The war ended in a UN-brokered ceasefire, but it solidified Hezbollah's position as a significant force in the region and further inflamed tensions between Israel and Iran. Adding another layer of complexity and danger to the conflict is the issue of Iran's nuclear program. Israel, viewing a nuclear-armed Iran as an existential threat, has repeatedly stated its willingness to take unilateral military action to prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons. This has led to a high-stakes game of brinkmanship, with the potential for miscalculation and escalation always present. The shadow of a potential nuclear conflict looms large, casting a long shadow over the region and raising concerns about a wider conflagration. The international community has sought to address the Iranian nuclear issue through diplomacy, most notably with the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, commonly known as the Iran Nuclear Deal.